What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Zebulon Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah. And y'all, Dabo Swinney has failed to adapt. And listen, Dabo is one of the greatest coaches in college football history. He's done a lot for that Clemson Tigers football program, right? He's led them to 2 national championships. They've won so many ACC titles and ACC championships. But y'all, the last 3 years, this man has failed to adapt to the way college football is being ran now. And it really reared its ugly head on Saturday as his Clemson Tigers got dominated by the Georgia Bulldogs 34-3 in the game, y'all, where Clemson only had 188 total yards in offense. And so you ask, Jose, how could a program that was once one of the best programs in college football, now 3 years later, they're really becoming irrelevant, y'all? It's because their head coach, Dabo Swinney, he does not want to utilize the transfer portal at all. Why? Because he does not feel like college football players should be getting paid. And because of that, y'all, a lot of these marquee big name players have gone to other universities. I mean, you look at Ole Miss, y'all, like, shout out to Lane Kiffin, the job he has done utilizing the transfer portal to his advantage. That's why Ole Miss has a legitimate shot of winning the national championship this year, because while Lane Kiffin, he's went out there in the transfer portal and he's been able to convince a lot of those guys to come join his program at Ole Miss, where you have a guy in Dabo Swinney, y'all, that should be doing the same thing, but because he does not feel like college football players should get paid, he will not do so. And now you see a Clemson program, y'all, that they have one of the worst offenses in the nation. You look at their quarterback, Cade Klubnik, y'all. I mean, he's just horrible. Like, no disrespect to him. He seems like a good guy, but he's not a very good quarterback, not very accurate with the football. He cannot make quick decisions. You look at their wide receivers, y'all. Their wide receivers cannot separate. They don't have any speed, agility, quickness to their game at all. Now, their defense is still pretty solid, and I give Dabo Swinney credit for still being able to find really good defensive players, y'all. But his offense is really sputtered. And again, it comes back to not using the transfer portal, y'all, because let's be honest, a lot of the guys that enter the transfer portal every single year, they're quarterbacks, they're running backs, and they're wide receivers. And they're not going to Clemson. Why? Because Dabo, he's not even trying to recruit those guys, right? Because he thinks he's from the old school, y'all. And Dabo was like, well, these guys are in college. They should not be getting paid like us coaches are getting paid. But Dabo, now we have a thing, my man, called name, image, and likeness. Okay, and NIL, y'all, it's just totally changed the landscape of college football. And if you're not willing to adjust, if you're not willing to adapt, you're going to get left behind. Y'all, you look at Dabo Swinney's last 3 years at Clemson, and you look at his records. You know, if he was at any other program, y'all, this would be seen as a success. Say if he was at Arizona, this would be seen as a success. But because he's at Clemson and because of all the success that they have had under his tutelage, y'all, these last 3 years have been a colossal failure. You look at 2021, they won 10-3. 2022, they won 11-3. And then last year, y'all, they won 9-4. Okay, that's not good enough because Clemson, they are used to what? Going to and competing for national championships. Y'all, the last 3 years, they hadn't even made the college football playoff. So that just really shows you, I mean, how far Clemson has fallen from grace. And it's all because their head coach, Dabo Swinney, he is stuck in the old ways, y'all. And I'm really, really thinking that Clemson is going to have to make a decision soon on Dabo Swinney. Like, seriously. And I cannot believe I would ever utter those words, y'all, out of my mouth. But Dabo Swinney should be on the hot seat. He absolutely should be. Because these last 3 years, it's not been good enough. And then last Saturday, y'all getting dominated to Georgia in the fashion that they did. And granted, I know Georgia, they're the best team in the country, right? Best defense in the country probably. Have a superstar quarterback, a plethora of wide receivers, a really good freshman running back. But y'all, there's no reason that Clemson should have got dominated the way they did. If this was Clemson 4 or 5 years ago, they may have even beat Georgia, but they definitely been much more competitive. But y'all, Dabo Swinney, let's be honest. This man does not have Deshaun Watson any longer. Okay? He does not have Trevor Lawrence any longer. Okay? He doesn't have Travis Etienne any longer. He doesn't have T. Higgins any longer. I'm talking about these are guys, y'all, Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson, right? Superstar quarterbacks. Dudes that could give you, 300 plus passing yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns every single game, and they can make plays with their legs. You look at Travis Etienne, y'all, he's probably one of the greatest running backs in college football history. Right? I mean, this man put up historic numbers at Clemson. Right? In 2018, he ran for almost 8 yards a carry. Okay, Dabo, he doesn't have that kind of running back on his roster right now. And then T. Higgins, y'all, again, very great wide receiver, right? Linky, tall, red zone target. Dabo doesn't have a red zone target. He doesn't have a downfield threat like he did when he had T. Higgins. And so, y'all, when I look at Clemson, no one's really worried about them. No one's scared of Clemson. Clemson used to run the ACC. Now, y'all, it looks like Miami, based off what we seen on Saturday against Florida, it looks like Miami could be making a comeback. You got Georgia Tech, they're a young up-and-coming team, but no one's worried about Clemson at this point. You remember, y'all, coming into the season, we knew every single year Clemson was going to win the ACC. Yeah, those days are long behind them, because now they're not even probably a top 5 team in the ACC, like seriously, because their offense is so bad, y'all. Their offense is horrible. Again, still have a pretty solid defense. Okay, but y'all, in today's game, though, listen, defense is great, but particularly in college football, you got to be able to score points. You have to. Okay, Nick Saban, he was known for being a defensive-minded head coach. And then, y'all, he adjusted, he adapted, he changed with the times, and his Alabama teams ended up having high-powered offenses. Okay, Dabo, you got to come up and be a little bit more modern, my man, because those old ways of doing things in college football, they're not going to work today. And again, y'all, at some point in time, Clemson, they're going to have a reality check. Right? They're going to have to look very hard at Dabo Swinney and say, you know what, man? We appreciate everything you've done for us, but are you the man that can lead us into the future? Because right now, y'all, the only thing we can judge Dabo Swinney on is what he's done in the past. That's the only thing we can judge him on. That's the only thing we can praise him for, is what he's done in the past. We cannot talk about right now. We just cannot talk about right now. Why? Because he has not done a lot in recent years, y'all. And this is what Dabo Swinney has to say to all the people that have criticized him in the last 48 hours.
Y'all gonna write crap. Y'all gonna write terrible stuff. And when we do great, y'all gonna write great stuff. You know, that's okay. I mean, everybody's got a job to do. It's okay. That's okay. I don't take it personal. You know, I don't read it or listen to it. That doesn't affect me. I love my job. I love what I do. I love all of it. And y'all can't change that. Nothing you can write, nothing you can say can change that. I love what I do. I love these kids. I love my purpose in life. And my life is on a foundation that doesn't change. It just doesn't. And, you know, so hopefully that's something that our kids learn as they go through, you know, moments like this, that they can learn how to, you know, handle adversity, learn how to handle success, because you're gonna have both in life. And that's a great part of what football teaches.
So as y'all heard right there, okay, Dabo Swinney, he's pretty upset at the people that have criticized him. But y'all, for all the people that have criticized him, including myself, we are right in our criticism, okay? Because this is not the same Clemson program that it was 4 or 5 years ago. Again, y'all, they're starting to become very relevant. And the only reason we're even probably still talking about Clemson, why, is because of their head coach, Dabo Swinney, who, again, is one of the best coaches in college football history. That's why it's just so astonishing, y'all. It's so surprising that he would not adjust to today's college football and the way it's being run. I just don't understand it. Like, how can a man that's won so many games, has so much success, it seems like he would want to keep that up for the rest of his career. But it's almost like as if Dabo's like, well, hey, I won 2 national championships. You know, I won a whole bunch of ACC titles and championships. There's no reason for me to do anything else. But, man, look what Nick Saban did, y'all. Nick Saban, he adapted, he adjusted, won about 4 or 5 more national championships. That's what the great coaches do, right? So, Dabo, if you really want to cement your legacy, my man, you're going to have to change. And Clemson, if you want to continue being a great program, you might have to make a change. So there I have it, man. That was another episode of Zayden Law Sports Podcast. Remember, y'all, laugh's a good message. Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm going to end it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.